He's preparing to start going live now. Okay, we are live now. We are live now. We are live now. Okay. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are joining us from. This is the Peaceful Permanent Solution Show, and I'm your host, Marcel Jaff. Today's topic is one that strikes at the very heart of our struggle: unity in the Ambazonian Revolution. Friends, brothers, and sisters in the struggle, we gather today under one purpose: to understand what makes our revolution unique and how the peaceful permanent solution provides the bridge that unites our fractured recognition quest and give the world a clear sovereign handle on who we are. Let me begin with this reflection. To know what we want, our sovereign state, the Republic of Ambazonia, depends entirely on how we know who we are. We are not mere citizens of a political idea. We are unapologetic Ambazonians, proud to exude our Ambazonianness anytime, anywhere, anyhow. Our revolution must be rooted in the mind before it ever triumphs on the battlefield. We must first win the battle of the minds to reclaim and live our Ambazonian identity, free from what our guest tonight calls Pan-Cameroonianness or Pan-Cameroon predeterminism. You're going to hear that term a lot, Pan-Cameroon predeterminism. It simply means many of us have grown very used to this, our association with Cameroon, and many of us are kind of confused between, are we Ambazonians or are we Cameroonians? So that is what our guest is going to say more about it. He's the expert. I'm just there, as you know, Johnny just come. So that deep inherited mindset that still binds too many of us to the old identity of the Republic of Cameroon. So tonight, we are here to talk about unity, identity, and strategy, and how we can consciously reshape our revolutionary mindset to match the destiny we claim. And to help us unpack this, I'm honored to welcome my guest, Mr. Edwin Gang, community organizer and thought leader with the Republic of Amazonia and the visionary behind the Peaceful PPS Initiative and the DATIP Alliance. The DATIP means Dynamic Alliance to Implement PPS. So, Mr. Edwin, you're welcome.
Thank you, my brother Marcel Jaff, for that terrific introduction of how the Ambazonian Revolution has to be seen by our people. We are one people. We are Ambazonians. We are not Cameroonians. That is the foundation of how we will be able to come together as one people. When we say the peaceful permanent solution automatically unites the Ambazonian Revolution, this is because we understand that we are not Cameroonians, and we know that because the facts states that, the history states that, and the only reason why we are holding Cameroonian identity today is because our sovereignty is under subjugation by La République du Cameroon. So if you want to reclaim and become an independent sovereign state, at the very foundation of it is to reject the identity and nationality of the colonizing country that is subjugating your country called a Republic of Amazonia, which is why we have found that it is as easy as just acknowledging that you are an Amazonian. When we say the recognition quest, the Ambazonian recognition quest will be automatically reunited as tomorrow. How is that? Somebody will be thinking. Imagine that you sitting out there in ground zero or you in Oslo, or you in London, or you in Rome, or you in Accra, or you in Abuja, anywhere else in the world, you belong to an association, you belong to some group. You've been advocating for independence, albeit in what we consider the incoherent universe of which has already been usurped by Cameroon predeterminism. We are here today to tell you that there is an easy way out. It is as simply as acknowledging that you are not Cameroonian, but an Ambazonian. You, as a member of that group, go out, convene a meeting, adopt a resolution endorsing and adopting the peaceful permanent solution in the Republic of Ambazonia, which is how the world is going to see us, as that united Amazonian revolution. That's why the topic is today is called the unique Amazonian revolution. It's so unique because it is so simple as 1, 2, 3, ABC. Get out from your slumber of always thinking in the universe of pan-Cameronism and invoke your unique sense of Ambazonianness. You are not a Cameroonian, you are a Ambazonian. Please take note of that. That is the foundation of how we will liberate ourselves from this over 75 years of subjugation by the most evil ideology existing in our world today is pan-Cameroon predeterminism, the ideology that insists on assimilating, harmonizing, integrating the minority English-speaking people and making them third-class citizens in a country that does not care about them. That is not the way we have to live our lives in our world. Please, please. A mistake was made in a moment in time. We call it the Taiwan moment. We of the what we're gonna call the peaceful permanent solution movement, now managed by the Dynamic Alliance, is inviting you listening to wake up, please. You are not a Cameroonian, you are an Ambazonian. The first thing you should do is to endorse the peaceful permanent solution. Then you take out your document, post it out in the social media that will say to the world that you have now joined the Dynamic Alliance. To do what? To implement the peaceful permanent solution. And what does the peaceful permanent solution do? The peaceful permanent solution is based on our strengths, our rights to our sovereign state, which we know we already have, which is under subjugation called Republic of Amazonia. We have that locked under the law, so we are confident. You will advocate for the recognition of your sovereign state called Republic of Amazonia. Some countries may be thinking that that may be difficult for them. The alternative, or those who do not want to recognize us, call for what is called the binary choice exclusive referendum. Remember that. So that is why I'm here today as one of the agents of the Dynamic Alliance to tell you that we must reset this Ambazonian, this unique Ambazonian revolution back to its properties of origin, where our strength is our sovereignty, where the opportunities exist in our world to tell the truth that will set us free, where our weakness is this politicking that we have found ourselves, where where the threats are the international community that serves the interests of the hegemonic powers. So I will just end here for the moment because I think you understand now that when we say the unique Amazonian revolution, we absolutely have the data, we have the facts. We are not, there's nothing as unique as us in the entire world, where all we need to do is state that we are not Cameroonians, but Ambazonians, and the world will say, yes, you deserve your country.
Okay, thank you very much for the great answer there. Well, let's jump right to the first question. How will the PPS help unite our recognition quest? PPS, for those who are watching for our first time, PPS means Peaceful Permanent Solution. How will the PPS help unite our recognition quest? You have 5 minutes. Be brief, please.
Well, this is what it should be. At the very basis of peaceful permanent solution is because when you say peaceful, you acknowledge your rights. It's based on the sovereignty doctrine in the Republic of Ambazonia. You cannot invoke the PPS unless you already acknowledge your rights to your nationality and your rights of self-determination as what? As citizens of Republic of Amazonia. You see where that comes from. So we are the product of that universe of acknowledgement of rights. We believe we have never been Cameroonians. We will never be Cameroonians no matter what. So we're inviting our brothers, please join us in this new change model. We should be united automatically when we state we are not Cameroonians. And we have never been Cameroonians. We are recolonized. At least, not that. Okay, here's what some people think. I've heard some people say that, oh, history gave us the name Southern Cameroon. Here's what people do not know about history and the relationship of history and the people's best interest. Our, our official name can only be the United Nations Trust Territory of the Southern Cameroons under United Kingdom administration. It's not a name. That is a phrase. If anybody says Southern Cameroons, then I'll ask, where is that assigned in the historical documents? It's an abbreviation of that long phrase given to us in 1946 at the United Nations First Conference in San Francisco, Durban Oaks, by an intern, probably a political science intern, 21-year-old guy was given the assignment of figuring out how these German colonies, which has now been defeated, and should be assembled and given a rights of self-determination. Of course, if the best way to look at how you need to understand that identity is all that matters in a war is this. Why are the other German Cameroons having different names? Chad was part of German Cameroon. Central Africa, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea. So if we are the only people being affected by the Cameroon concept of a nation, which is an erroneous concept of a nation, then I should tell you clearly now that the days of that stupidity is over. We will not allow the dominant system, which has no consciousness of ever becoming serving our best interest, to dominate us from the Francophone system, to keep preaching that erroneous notion that German created a nation. German did not create a Cameroon nation. German Cameroon was a mercantile outpost at best. That's what the historical record states. Fast forward to today. We will be automatically united just by the virtue of you stating the fact that you are not Cameroonian, but an Ambazonian, and then using your group to endorse the peaceful permanent solution and joining the dynamic alliance to implement the peaceful permanent solution. That is why we say it is very easy for us to be a united Ambazonian revolution. We are right now so disunited that everybody else in the world has written us off and are now promoting strategies that favors what we call pro-Cameroon temporal solutions. When you hear special status in 2018, that's a pro-Cameroon temporal solution. Autonomy in 2023, that was brought in, a devolution that was brought in 2023 after the Canada conference. That's another pro-Cameroon. We've seen some other entities in our revolution gone out and promote autonomy, which is still pro-Cameroon. And then we've seen some agents among us. We don't know why They have taken the idea of referendum instead of insisting on how we came into being. In our relationship with Cameroon can only be binary because it was how we came in as a plebiscite. The choice was a binary choice. We either to join Cameroon as a confederation or we were to be integrated in Nigeria. These are the two choices. But we have in our current polity political representatives, some of them
If you don't
representing
mind,
you.
let me jump
Yeah,
in because of time, and then you can still add more towards the end so that we go through the questions.
yeah.
Now, how would the world know that we are a united recognition quest? How would the world know that we're united?
The
Go ahead.
world will know that because it has always been an ongoing activity of Republic Ambazonia lobbying the foreign capitals of the world. Republic Ambazonia was created when the country, the Confederation was dissolved in 1984 by the Restoration Law 8401. Since then, oblivious to Ambazonians, the agents of Republic Ambazonia under the leadership of Von Gajindinka, who, albeit, is the father of the Ambazonian Revolution in his elderly age, still has the desire to see us free. We have been pursuing activities in foreign governments, and these foreign governments see us and say, oh, you have a very, very good legal argument. You have a good justification for getting a sovereign case. But all I see is confusion among you, your quality. Your political expression is confused. We have people there who are promoting federation. Like I said, some are promoting autonomy. So the world will see us united when these entities, when groups all over the world hearing us right now as we're speaking, instead of delegating matters to the same politicians who failed them in 2017, take it as their duty, their second duty, to endorse the peaceful permanent solution and then publicize that. It's just as simple as putting out a press statement, a public statement in WhatsApp, in Facebook, in X, in Instagram, in TikTok. Why we are not taking advantage of the public media to promote our exuding sense of Amazonian nationalism is what fondles everybody. So you want to be free. You are not even free in your mind. You are calling yourself Cameroonians and you're fighting ground zero as Southern Cameroonians. You think the world thinks of you as Ambazonians? That is not how it works. The world sees you as subjects of Republic of Cameroon. That's why nobody has been very concerned about what is going on. The real matter is as simple as us, especially those in the diaspora. All those groups that we know exist, please, it's time now for you to put out a press release that you endorse the peaceful permanent solution and you endorse the dynamic alliance. You join by endorsing the peaceful permanent solution, you automatically become a member of the dynamic alliance. Now, the world sees that and recognizes that the Amazonian rising to fall no more that was stated by our people in 2017 has now been elevated back and put out there by the people in the diaspora. It has not been done. The diaspora has failed the people in Ground Zero because the people in Ground Zero went down the street in September 22nd and said, Ambazonia has risen to fall no more. They handed the mandate, that objective, to the diaspora. What did the diaspora do? They dumped it down and started fighting among themselves to govern when there was no sovereignty. And you can govern as a subject of Republic of Cameroon. So the world looked at us and said, wait a minute, I'm not seeing any two country here. The truth of the matter is this. Since 1960, we have never told the world that we came to form a confederation, albeit ill-advised. That confederation has irremediably failed and should be abandoned. That task is not the task of the world, but ours. We are the one who's supposed to be in the streets of New York, London, Paris, Berlin, all the capitals in the world saying we do not want the bilingual Cameroon, the Cameroon bilinguals have failed, and we deserve recognition of Republic of Amazonia or the Amber exit. If we do that as the dynamic alliance, that is why how the world will see us as being a united Ambazonian revolution. It can take less than 3 months for this to happen.
Okay, so just so I understand, so are you saying that the people on the ground, they have a role to play? Those of us in the diaspora, we have a role to play. Those the people on the ground, they need to endorse and then say publicly that they have joined the peaceful permanent solution, and then the peaceful permanent solution, which is a movement, it is not a group. And then once that is done, then the foreign governments that are trying to intervene on our behalf would then start to notice that. And then also those of us in the diaspora, we should be protesting in front of the embassies to say that the bilingual experiment has failed. Is in short, is that what you're trying to say or something else?
That is exactly all that is part of the universe of defining who we are. What I'm saying is that the people in Ganzuro has done everything that they should have done, given the fact that they are under subjugation. Yet, remember, yet in 2016, they were on the streets as a cover revolutionary force, which is an act of defiance of subjugation of over 65 years. In 2017, they went on the streets again, saying Ambazonia has risen to fall no more. Yes, they have told us that they want their country. They have invoked their rights of self-determination. And the right of self-determination is identified in Article 6b, which we have attained to the level of self-government. When Endele was self-government, we actually had Frontier elected as prime minister. In my opinion, that was the first independence on January 30th, 1959. Why Frontier and his delegation did not go to the United Nations to seek for a seat at the nation, but we know why. We know why. Because our quality has been corrupted and usurped by the forces of reunification from French Cameroon. They have infiltrated us. Then in 1950, preaching unification of Cameroon. So all they were thinking is reunify, but that's the wrong strategy. Albeit, if we want to track this problem, we still have to go back to the basics, how we came to be. We must go back and state that this union has failed. Nowhere in the world, in the entire world, has they mixed English and French. Possibly. England, the United Kingdom, and France are not doing it. So we should not. We must campaign now in the diaspora. The Ground Zero has given us the mandate to do it. It's the work of the diaspora. The Ground Zero should, when in November 16, November 22, 2016, September 22nd, 2017. We don't need the Ground Zero to be going out and getting the same deal. It is the task of the diaspora to go out and do what? Tell the world that what? The Cameroon bilingual experiment has failed. And why? Because the Republic of Southern Cameroon was succeeded by the Republic of Amazonia, and this country should be recognized because this experiment is leading to chaos. Remember, United Nations Article 6b, Article 1 is to preserve peace and security in our world. This exercise of imposing a unity between two properties that can never be mixed is tantamount to crime against humanity. It does not promote peace and security in the world because there will be continuous tension in Cameroon as long as Ambazonia remains forcibly in that union. So please, those of you listening, don't just sit back and delegate matters to some politician. Endorse the peaceful permanent solution. If there's no group in your area, create one. Create a group. You can call yourself the Ambazonian Soccer Association of Oklahoma and and say that we have endorsed the peaceful permanent solution. You can say anything. You can As long as you endorse it, you are not a member of the dynamic alliance. That is how the world would understand that these people who were not supposed to have even been brought into that union which mixes French and English systems that have even France and England haven't even thought about, should not be forced to live together. This is crime against humanity, and we should do that in the diaspora. I'm saying it. That's where it should be. And that's why we are very confident that if we unite, it will automatically unite us, and we would donate the power, because the world will see it and say, oops, we didn't know that this was a terrible thing going on in the Midwest Africa sub-region. We are calling on Cameroon to vacate its presence from the Republic of Ambazonia, and all those things will happen as long as we do it the right way. Right now, we are not doing it the right way because we are acting as Cameroonians. We call ourselves Assyrian Cameroonians, and we are fighting Cameroon as Cameroonians, so it is being considered an internal matter.
Okay, thank you so much for that answer. I could do some follow-up there, but I want us to finish all our questions before in the interest of time. So how can any group endorse the PPS? Any group out there, how can they endorse the PPS in a very simple, short, straightforward way? How can they endorse the PPS?
You woke up this morning and you open your phone and you saw people posting all kinds of text messages, including videos. All they need is to do is, of course, convene a meeting, take a resolution endorsing the peaceful permanent solution, which is exactly what it says, because of our belief that it will bring back permanent peace. The solution will be permanent because we have a state. If they do that, they have to post it. The world needs to see. If that group signature has to be there, post it as a PDF document. And we have all the social media will know that it has been done. I'm also a public figure. We've been preaching this thing since 2018. So it's not very difficult for anybody who wants to ask how can they join the Dynamic Alliance, or how can they present a document out there that they have endorsed the PPS. It's as simple as just putting a press release out there in your name, posting it in WhatsApp, posting it in Facebook, in X, in Instagram, and in TikTok, in all those social medias. Of course, we always ask that you could send us one to us privately or in our email. It has been put out there. You can Google my name, and my name is Edwin Gang. You will find me online. So it is as easy as ABC, please. So any group out there, whether you are fighting, your strategy is to fight. There is nothing conflicting between your fighting and your endorsement of the most power detonating strategy. It is concurrently promoting the same strategy. So do not feel that it is a big thing. It is a movement. We are promoting the peaceful permanent solution movement. So you should be very excited to join it, even though your strategy is to fight to the last man standing. Of course, we believe that we will reach a point in time in this movement where we will have the capacity to cautiously elicit compliance from a recalcitrant Cameroon. We just like to put it that way because we believe that our strength is sovereignty, which we haven't told the world. Our weakness is politics, which is what we are currently doing. Everything we've been doing since 2017 is politicking in governance. That's all. We are politicking in governance and reinforcing Cameroon's strength. By inverse, Cameroon's strength is politicking, and Cameroon's weakness is sovereignty. So, to the extent that we project our strength, is how Cameroon will be weakened.
If I may ask there for that, you said that Cameroon's weakness is sovereignty and their strength is politics. Let me try to relate it to what is going on right now. What is going on right now is a lot of people who call themselves Anglophones they are paying very close attention to the just ended presidential election in Cameroon. They're very disappointed. Many of them are unpaid strategists now for Issa Chiroma Bakari. They're trying hard, falling over themselves, trying to figure out how to help him to win. Of course, everybody out there wishes him well, including us. But what I'm wondering is, when you talk about, endorsing the PPS, a lot of people might not even know what this PPS is. They don't understand. But let's put the question the other way. What is the PPS not? You have mentioned some of the tenets of something related to the use of force, how there's a time and place for that. What is even if somebody doesn't know what the PPS is, tell me what it is not.
Where we are today is that we have adopted a strategy that nobody owns. Kind of very, very tragic that people endowed by Article 76B to self-government and independence in year 2025 are in a total state of disarray, unconscious of where the destiny should be in terms of where in relation to their sovereign state. I'm saying this because if you are an activist from a territory that is called North or Southwest Province, you have been complaining about marginalizations. Those are just consequences. Okay? From 1960, marginalization has existed. People have been arrested. People have been killed at every stage from 1961 till today. What happened in 2017 was just where you can put it to analogy to a volcanic explosion. The pent-up force of suppression has reached a point where it exploded. But if you want to solve the problem, it's not by rashly approaching it, it's by reflecting on how it will be done so that it is permanently and peacefully, and most peacefully executed. This is where we come from. The peaceful permanent solution recognizes the fact that Cameroon, French-speaking Cameroon, and English-speaking Cameroon are two separate countries. Does the world know that? That's a lie. The world does not know that. Cameroon propaganda machine has succeeded in making the world think of us as one and indivisible, whereas we were never so, or even not supposed to be that. So this mistake, a mistake done in time, must be corrected by human being done at another time. What is happening is that people went and adopted a strategy, which is a well-known strategy. Conflict mode. Fighting is a well-known strategy to elicit compliance from a recalcitrant object or subject by force is a well-known strategy in system analysis. So, but if you're engaging it, you should have all the properties of power on your side. You should plan properly. You cannot go there and think and then when you encounter difficulties, you say you did not know. It's supposed to have been known at the time of our executing our revolution. We knew at the beginning that we have a problem of consciousness of our rights. That is the reason why why was it at the level of the individual, even Foncha and Endele, we suspected may have not actually visualized the power of their sovereign state. Otherwise, why did they not agree to that Hamishok appeal that they should form a unitary government when he visited them on January 2nd, 1960? There were many opportunities that they should have had. At 1959, at the United Nations Security Council, Russia and India were appealing to them to say that they wanted a sovereign state so that they should cancel the plebiscite, but they were not providing them the right answers. But I'm providing you the historical references so that you understand today, year 2025, that there's something in life that says the task that should have been done, that hasn't been done, must be done. And what is that task? At the very beginning, our political consciousness of sovereign identity was not done in 1950, and we engaged Cameroon, clueless of our entitlement rights in Article 6B. And today we are paying the price for it, even though we were a sovereign state. But thank God, by goodness, thank God there's no statute of limitation, meaning that we can recover from this mistake. And this is where you should be excited that there is this movement now for the peaceful permanent solution movement, which simply is predicated on your strength, which is the sovereignty, and has minimized your weakness, which is your politicking. No politicking. There's nothing politicking that we are doing. Everything we do can be referenced to the law, to the facts of the history, and to principles that support both. Then we also take advantage of the opportunities in our world. We know in other parts of the world, right now, as you and I are talking and you're listening, other people with less attributes of legalism to their rights, with less uniqueness to being a sovereign state like we are the most optimized sovereign state in the entire world. But there are other countries who are advocating for what? For an exclusive referendum because of their own problem in their regions. We've done our investigation and we found that. So why are you still sitting there, holding your hands, throwing it up in the air, complaining every day about things that are happening against you when this simple solution has been provided you since day one? That is why we are here, making sure that you know that all you need to do is acknowledge your rights as an Ambazonian under subjugation by a foreign country called Republic of Cameroon. Acknowledge that you have a sovereign state called Republic of Ambazonia. Acknowledge that you will be promoting a strategy that seeks recognition of your sovereign state because the facts of the law have already been locked by Republic of Ambazonia, exhausting legal remedies from 1984 to 2013. We have done that. Acknowledge the fact that all that remains is you, the subjects and citizens of Republic of Amazonia, to raise and adopt and rally around your sovereign state. That is why we say peaceful, and we say permanent, and we say solution. So please do that. Acknowledge that, and let us have a dynamic alliance to implement the peaceful permanent solution.
Okay,
Let's
if you don't
see
mind me
more.
jumping there. If you don't mind me jumping there. All right. A very fine explanation, very detailed. So what I'm trying to, let me just go through something very briefly here, and you can answer real quickly, right? Okay. Is the peaceful permanent solution for the use of force? Yes, no? Just briefly, so we can go through
The
quickly.
peaceful permanent solution recognize that we are powerless, like zero. And there's no matter to make a pretense, but we are powerful as equal in status as Republic of Cameroon when we acknowledge our sovereign state. It was stated at the plebiscite treaty by resolution 1608. So we have power, but we are not utilizing it. But we go for power that we cannot attain. So it makes the world, people who are observing us, wonder whether we are smart. Are these people really, really interested in their sovereignty or not? You have all these attributes of power, you dump it and abandon it in favor of something else that does not give you power. If you say the peaceful permanent solution is for the use of force, I say the peaceful permanent solution is for accumulating power. We have already assembled 30% power. We have that as legalism. You, as the Ambazonian out there, joining the dynamic alliance to implement the peaceful permanent solution, will be piling in more power, WOWER, into the psychological
Okay,
realm
so
where
if
we
you
are
don't
going to
mind,
win the
if
battle
you
of
don't
the
mind me
mind.
jumping in there. So the answer you've given is kind of muddled. So it's not really clear whether they are for it. But let's go on to the next thing. Is the peaceful permanent solution for school closures, for the closure, no school education? Just briefly, is it for or
No,
not?
we have never supported those strategies because they are
Very
called
good.
power depleting strategies. All
Yeah.
those strategies in ground zero, school closures, Monday ghost towns, and lockdowns are what we consider power depleting strategies. They were never recommended as a matter of preliminary assumption requirement test.
Okay,
Before
let me
engaging a
jump in there. Let
revolution,
me jump in there quickly. Well, let's we finish. Then after that, I can open it up and you can go either direction. I just want to give these clear cut things because some people might not understand PPS, but they can understand it by knowing what it is not. There are some people out in Ambazonia right now who don't know that there are some people who support the Ambazonian revolution, who are diehard Amazonians, but they are not for school closures. They are not for all the kidnappings and the arbitrary lockdowns and the Monday goes. Some people are hearing it like news because those are the things that are making this revolution to be dying every day. Many people on the ground, they support it, but they don't want those things. They don't want anything to do with that. So just a second. So for most people these days on the ground, or most people that I talk to, when they hear Ambazonia, you know what they think? They think kidnapping, they think school closure, they think arbitrary lockdowns. All those things you have accurately called as power depleting strategies. I just wanted to be very clear and crisp. Like that's not what it is about. Okay, all right. Let me just wrap up now with the last question, and then you can conclude with any direction you want to go. Why is DATIP pleading we jump over the current confusion? DATIP is just an acronym for simple. That for when I listen to Pigeon. I know the acronym they don't plenty. So they sorry, acronym them for when maybe when I hear the one when I want to say DATIP now wait. DATIP now just people the way they want assemble, not just an association where they want to assemble people them where they don't endorse the thing what they call and say peaceful permanent solution. Now all that as simple as that. So the question what they ask and I say why would the plea say me will jump over the current confusion? Why would the plea say me that jump over the current confusion? Explain them in a very simple and short way where even Mami for Kikaikelaki, that my famous Mami for Kikaikelaki, where they say Mindondo, where they say Miondo, or where they say Pe, or Mami for Kwakwa, where they say Bitalif. Just explain that for simple way if you understand. Then after that, we'll conclude now, and then if you talk, if you take a minute that direction.
well,
Go ahead.
that part of jump over now, because we get a big problem. I don't even know how we'll ever solve that problem. That problem is one way that, like say, bomb picking with her. We get problem where we get leaders the way, even though they do wrong, they know they go angry. No one can talk, say, where we will change strategy. And we get another problem. So with society sabi respect leaders. So if we society continually look on these leaders, the way they call them, it will waste another decades because they're not going to ever change. They're not going to ever accept, say, without that strategy be wrong. For them for choose the dynamic alliance strategy, which is for endorse the peaceful parent solution. If they go ask that leaders will deny. They will just say, leave them, more talk something, more can compromise. I will give example of compromise. Fire. Where they don't go compromise. So one they will compromise Washington DC for where Hosting Institute one adopt we revolution. If as long as we say we want a referendum, instead for them for just accept the seat, go to call other forms of government, which is a multiple choice referendum. So this best thing when I the people that made it understand and say, this palaver day nana for you you get to get an act of faith for accept the fact that you are not Cameroonian but Ambazonian, then you call people them for diaspora, tell them to endorse the PPS. Back at home, we're not one for exposure for more terror, more trouble. But I don't do what you want to get to do. Now diaspora, they are telling now for endorser. And the white endorse them now, they don't need no leader for approval. Leaders they be supposed to don't endorse them long time ago, since 2017, since 1994, since 2001. I fit throw events away, we don't get out with them, report ambassador, but they deny. Now time for you, the ambassador, for understand, say, if you depend on these leaders, another 34 years go pass Because it take 34 years before they accept the very basic concept of identity. 34 years we passed from 1984 to 2017. I beg una, just accept the fact, say, you know, be Cameroonian, you be an Ambazonian. Call that your picking way there for Washington, D.C. Tell us if that group way there may endorse the peaceful permanent solution. That picking get the right for become a leader on his own strength. No, they're not the born leader. We will work together as a movement. So we'll get the leader later on. Now, all that we talk. Because if they go through that leaders, as I know them, then go throw confusion and they will bring in compromise, dilute them. And I get evidence where we tell them, say, they don't really dilute with Amber Exit to make a multiple choice. It will happen for April 24th, 2023 for also Institute for Washington, D.C. I'll be there for that meeting. I'll be there for meeting for April, for May 28th, 2019 for Brussels, where European Institute of Peace will adopt with revolution. We deny. We instead talk say we want go join winner for dialogue and negotiation, where will be the work on special status. So at every stage, we revolution don't be infiltrated by La Republic agents or what we call them pan Cameroon people them. So if we continue to look at this structure where they go, and they fear very much say they will delay and so it will waste time. But if you want make success happen, you get to jump over. Jump over just means say you get to take it as your own personal responsibility to endorse. Nobody there hold you. If you're there for Washington DC, you get a group, go ahead, endorse it. Nobody know there is no you if you're there for London, endorse it. When we get that conference, if we call a conference for London for April 2026, if we call a conference for Accra or for Johannesburg, as the universe where they don't endorse the people's solution, this is the strategy where it will bring back power to the Ambazonian recognition quest because it be based on with strength. The current strategy not get power. And this one are the total power way. Even if Cameroon deny after they don't recognize we, country don't recognize we will get the power for force them. At that time, we will know to the top.
Okay. Thank you so much. We don't come for the close for the powerful conversation. So now, if you summarize the call to action for Ambazonians, the way that they watch you for tonight, what will be your call to action? Summarize your call to action to Ambazonians.
I'll tell them, anybody who don't listen today, you get to respect the fact that you get a sovereign state. And that sovereign state guarantee you your rights of self-government and independence. I go right for talk, so you don't really get self-government, so don't worry about that one. You don't really finish that one. You will get independence the day where trusteeship end for October 1, 1960. Unfortunately for we be leaders that carry and go mix am with La Republique. The one negotiate something called confederation. They don't even know. They don't absorb we. They integrate we. These people that be intent on simply extirpate we. Some language there they call annihilate. They want to destroy all trace of the Ambazonianness identity because they don't give it whether we exist as English people as long as they continue subjugate we and be dominant. So solve this thing now. She don't dare begin to wait for the last election. Oh my goodness, what will we? 3 strikes not be enough. 1992, SDF come, they elect them, they deny. 2018, whether I come to become, they deny. They don't deny Chiruma. We will predict this one all. We will predict there cannot be any democratic solution in Cameroon. Cameroon will never ever be a democratic state till the day where Ambazonia don't become part of it, not part of it. So please, the job where you get to do now is you wait there for diaspora, endorse the peaceful permanent solution, and you did do the one because you not be Cameroonian. Why you feel express yourself say Ambazonia has risen to fall no more again? You shouldn't the people back home, they don't say Ambazonia rising to fall no more. They kill them. You should you quiet for diaspora. Then they ask them that they made a fight. This is the greatest, I don't feel call out. I don't know whether that's shame where we don't put them for people, but the diaspora has totally failed the Ambazonian revolution because the only mandate for the diaspora and for take that Ambazonian away, the home from the giver, shine them for the world to see. How you will make that balloons of Amazonia make it shine? How? Because you will become the electricity grid. Every group where you create that all over the world, where you promote the peaceful permanent solution, is a sign of self-determination and signs of acknowledgement of your nationality as Ambazonian. People then think say that one not get power, but now that one way they be tell we sings. And we in the Republic of Amazon they do lobby for foreign government. I fit talk that one. 1990, the one from Gojindika be doing on you one. Nigeria tell you. My own will be involved for 2007. United States tell we say find an African country. And we don't try with best all over waka, waka, waka. Then they tell we say we get a divisive quality. Say more just try with best for bring quote unquote some modicum of unity. And that modicum of unity, I want to explain for you, say history, not a lie. Will be attend as Southern Cameroon Ambassador United Front, which is called SCACUF, for February 26, 2017. But it only last from February, March, April, May, June. So 5 months, July, the Scotland. They scatter this United Front in favor of governing without sovereignty. I beg, see, if you want to forget independence, the only way for doing now for you now for endorse this strategy where it project that Amazonian identity and nationalism for the world to see. Not before go through this governance and groups, because those governance and groups, they be what they call them, they be subordinated under Cameroonian identity and nationality. Nobody know care your business.
Okay, thank you so much. So, my final words then. Dear viewers, thank you so much, brothers and sisters. You heard it. The revolution begins in the mind and manifests in unity. It begins in the mind up here and then manifests in the unity, which was the theme of our show today. So we cannot let confusion or ego divide what history has ordained. Again, we cannot let confusion or ego divide what history has ordained. We have already seen the confusion and the ego that is manifesting in the diaspora. The peaceful permanent solution is just not another slogan. It is a roadmap to self-determination through peace, through law, and through unity. So, my dear Ambazonians, go forth, endorse the PPS at your personal and at your group levels. Share this show and be a part of the generation that says what? Ambazonia has risen and shall fall no more. Thank you so much for watching today. Please subscribe and help us continue to spread the word out there. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Edwin, for joining. Bye-bye.
Thank you, my brother.
All right.